You're watching Weekend at Gabe's and I'm Weekend Gabe. This latest episode was brought to you by the good folks over at the Ghetto Flower. Use our code W@G for an exclusive 15% discount when visiting their site. Tell them I sent you. Now enjoy the show. We got a phenomenal first guest up tonight, a senior over at Columbia College Chicago who is graduating in a couple of weeks. We're going to find out what he's going to do next. It is a pleasure to introduce to the show Ben Clarkson. How are you, sir?
Woo!
How's it going? You can hear me, you can see me, right? We're all good?
You're good. You're fantastic.
Yeah.
We got you locked in.
Love
How are
it.
you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. How are both of you doing? I'm hyped to be here.
No, we're
I'm
absolutely
pretty solid.
We're fantastic. So you're a comedy writer right now. One of the many traits that you have and that you do as part of your artistry. Tell me this: what is the difficulty in writing comedy, and what sparks a chuckle for you when you're creating a thought or drafting a conversation between characters? Well, how does that work, and how do you know it works?
So first answer to your question is just writing comedy in general for me personally is a little bit of a struggle. I love performance. My major specifically is comedy writing and performance. I would like to think that I am more of an and performance major. Now, that isn't to say that I don't write the comedy and I don't love it, but I do just I struggle with that side of the coin, if you will.
Sure.
And specifically, writing characters, I'm I'm a little immature in my comedy. I'll come forward and say that. So any 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 toilet humor, any potty humor, speaks to my soul. I love that childish sort of, anything that's just innocent and isn't really trying to make a statement in the world really gets me. So I do enjoy to write that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Within my major right now, I'm at uh, sorry, I'm looking at the chat and I appreciate all.
I was wondering which one of y'all did the fart, and it makes so much. Because I was listening to it yesterday, and I was like, who did that? Because it's
It
really
was
easy
me.
to pick my voice out in the videos, but not so much y'all's.
I couldn't help myself. I had to. This is Wes Champagne, who you guys had on not yesterday, but Tuesday. I helped him out with one of his YouTube videos for his March of Robots, where I got to write a piece for an elderly robot, and I threw a fart in there because I couldn't help myself. I just thought it was gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
I was
And it
gonna ask you about like writing the blurbs, because he had mentioned that you and Peyton had wrote some of them, and I was wondering how like writing for someone else's characters or someone else's stuff is different from like writing for yourself.
Totally. So that was a super fun time. I'll say I had a great time doing all of it, writing for it, doing the voices, watching it after it had been produced. Definitely writing for somebody else is there's it's it's a struggle. It's more fun. I don't know. I'm torn on it a little bit because you're given sort of a set of parameters a little bit where it's like, okay, this is what I want it to be. This is what I've created. I'm handing it over to you for your take on it. And you want to be true to their vision and you want to be true to what they want the character to be. But at the same time, you want to throw your own spin on it and
Right.
kind of give your voice within there. So I think specifically with this older man robot character, I tried to stay true to the elderly archetype that was kind of going on there. And then I think throwing in this little fart joke, this innocent fart joke, was sort of me speaking my comedic POV into that piece a little bit. So it's fun. It's a bit of a struggle though, because you're kind of dueling writing styles a little bit, I think.
Let's go back to the beginning. We're often for our Thursday Thunnies segment, when we have comedians on, they'll tell us these wonderful stories as children, that they entertained their adults, they attended the friends of their parents, like they just knew that they had that the capacity to hold the attention of adults by doing antics or mimicking, playing, whatever it is. They had that power to do it. At what point did you kind of realize that you also had that ability to hold form or to create or to present comedy and keep people's attention?
Totally. Great question, Gabe. I think the moment for me came, I think, in elementary school. I myself was homeschooled for the first up until 6th grade. I don't
That
know if
makes
that
so much
says
sense for
anything
you.
about me or if
I love
things
that
are
Ben
making
lore.
sense. Yeah, little nugget for you. But so yeah, so I was homeschooled until 6th grade, and then 6th grade happened, and I was thrown into the public education system, and it shifted my perception on a lot of things. One of those things being how people perceived me.
Hmm.
And my middle school and my elementary school teacher, um, I think it was really they inspired me most to pursue kind of this path in life, by putting me on this track, just by doing just classroom plays. We would do like Hamlet or just other Shakespeare in elementary, and just receiving any feedback from an instructor after doing those that was
Sure.
positive, it really spoke to me. And there was something about that I was like, okay, I could see this being like, wow, you're really responding to this. It means something to you, which then in turn means something to me. And I kind of just took that, and I think I ran with it, for better or for worse. Here I am. Who knows where I'll end up? But I think that, yeah, probably that would be the earliest. In elementary, even middle school, I did a little bit of improv, and it just spoke right to my soul. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is it.
Fantastic.
So we did a deep dive on all your social media. I
Sure.
love that you have not archived a single post on your Instagram, going all the way back to those wonderful, wonderful middle school years. So props to you for that, because that was a journey going down those pictures. But can you explain what the deal with this fish was, please? What what was the fish?
The fish, you're referring to this picture on my Instagram where I'm sort of looking up,
Yeah, it's
and
it's on your Instagram and I think your Twitter as well. But I really need to know the full story of this, because it seems like it was a very well produced production of a bit. And I don't know if it was just a bit or or if there's more.
it was just a bit. I'll get that out of the way right off the top. There's no truth in that. Most of my social media posts are just pure fuckery. I'm sorry. I apologize for language. I hope that I don't offend anybody, but it's just for fun, on the Instagram and the Twitter. So I didn't actually have a fish. So this post in particular, and I'm so glad you went back and looked, because I look at that Instagram and all those social medias as more of a timeline, instead of an outreach almost.
Hmm.
But so this fish picture was from, I helped my one of my roommates, who is also a Columbia student. Actually, he's an alum now. He just graduated last semester. Let's go. Gavin Pringle. Shout out Gavin Pringle.
Listen, we have a rule on this show. If you drop Columbia, it gets an air horn.
Oh, I love that. Don't tell me that, because I will abuse it. Yeah, so I was helping Gavin with this. I believe it was his final film project for Columbia College Chicago.
Well, listen, like Captain America. I got all day. We could do this all day.
Let's go. And so I was helping him with this project, and there was some just behind the scenes pictures taken for that, and that is where that picture originated from. The film itself is sort of this surreal journey of a it's like a detective following my character who was sort of this ambiguous murder character. He's like dragging a body behind him the whole time, and he sort of disassociates halfway through. And so the disassociation, he's like looking around this forest and he's just totally confused. And so there's this great picture that we got behind the scenes of me just looking up into the sky and the woods. And I had it on my phone. I had this collection of pictures on my phone for the longest time. And the way that I do those Instagram posts is I'll just scroll back through my camera roll. And as soon as something strikes me as like, oh, okay, I see that picture. Now here's a caption that has nothing to do with the picture at all whatsoever. I'll be like, all right, boom, here we go. And so for that one, I was like, all right, well, let's take this out of context. Maybe instead of a guy staring into the sky in the woods, it's a goldfish that I just put in my toilet that I thought was dead, and now I'm about to take a turd on it, and it's mortified that this is its
Wow.
fate.
Yeah, because there's like the initial post of like the fish tank and stuff, and then like on your Twitter, like a few days later, you post about having this funeral for your fish and talking about how your fish is dead, and I'm like, the commitment to this bit is just like, it wasn't like a one and done, like it was ongoing.
It is funny that you mentioned that because I will say that the fish tank and then this other picture, they're completely unrelated. That fish tank is a separate bit that just exists in my personal home at all times. One of my other roommates came home with this fish tank one day. He's also a film major at Columbia College Chicago.
Let's go. All day. Let's get it.
You do not miss a beat, dude. I love it. And so he came in with this fish tank, and we were like, well, what are we gonna do? Actually get fish? Oh, no way. We had an extra TV, so we stuck the TV inside the fish tank, hooked it up to a laptop, and now we play YouTube clips of fish inside the fish tank on the TV. And it's sort of like a mood setter, a little ambiance for the room. But it's a fun time. That sort of comedy is my favorite, where it just exists in the world and isn't asking for too much attention. But when you do notice it, it's a treat.
I've also
Well,
noticed you have multiple tweets about eggnog, and you also have a jacket on, on your Instagram that says eggnog. So what
listen, I need that.
About
I need
this,
that.
what is
Well,
this
where do
like,
you get
is
that?
this just bowling 2.0? Because like I know that like we have the bit about you and bowling and stuff. Like what is the deal with eggnog, bro?
okay. So I've built. I don't know when this started necessarily, but I've built this persona of an eggnog enthusiast. And it is very true to me. There's no bun burying here, but it is genuinely my favorite drink on the planet, and it gets to me so hard. Eggnog.
Eggnogs.
How do you feel
November.
about
No,
Christmas Vacation?
I love Christmas Vacation because yes, see, and this is my issue with eggnog is it's only available
right.
in the
November,
winter
December.
season. It just doesn't
I
make any
agree.
sense to me.
I agree. I want more eggnog
It should be available year round, and if
year
it's going to
round.
be a seasonal drink, it should be Easter because it is eggnog. I'm the whole thing confuses me. I have to be honest. But I am on this escapade to free it from seasonality, and I hope to God that one day when I'm successful enough, I can start my own eggnog
Let's
production
go.
company and run it year round. That's probably my biggest dream. Screw SNL, screw being a comic writer. I just want year round eggnog. Why can't we have that? Um,
As you wrap up your Columbia College career, what is some a fond memory that you have that sticks out to you from your 4 years being on
oh
campus?
man. There are so many. There are equal parts great fond memories that I cherish to the wow, I am stressed. Am I going to complete this program? I would argue that those make those cherishable moments even more cherishable. Um, I would say that probably the one moment that really sticks out, and it's not so much a moment as it was like a period, but when I very first got to Columbia, there was me and a couple other comedians who I had just met, and we all formed. It was a very short-lived comedy group called Floor 3, and it was for better or for worse that it ever existed and that it ended up petering off. But just getting to do something like that right off the bat and kind of jumping in head first and getting to write some sketches and be on camera and do a little YouTube thing, which is something that I've just always been passionate about. It really stuck with me and always has. And I still talk to most of those guys, and we get along great. And it definitely, I can see it being something that will stick with me for a while.
So what's next up for you, or what are some plans that you would like, or some goals now that you would have for yourself? You kind of mentioned like in joking like SNL or being on any of these writing teams for commercial TV. Is that one of your goals, or do you have something a little bit more independent like your eggnog business that's in formulating?
Totally. I I I would love to explore any avenue that presents itself to me. If that is a sort of a behind the scenes writing job for a show that is on air that I enjoy, I will wholeheartedly take that. If it is my own independent ventures on media, being YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, whatever it be, I would love to do that as well. I could see that even in tandem being a thing. Right now, in my last semester at Columbia College Chicago,
All day, let's get it. Let's get it.
I'm at the Second City. Actually, a whole semester of classes at the Second City is included with the comedy major, and so
Awesome.
right now that is where I am, and I don't I don't want to commit fully to this, but I could totally see myself taking that Second City comedy route and running with it, possibly to that SNL level. I mean, obviously there are variables there, but I really enjoy the comedy studies program at Second City that I am doing right now. And I would be thrilled to, after I graduate, to continue taking classes there, to eventually audition for the Second City. And honestly, to do shows with them would be an absolute treat. But I'm not picky. I'll take anything. If there's a creative endeavor that I can explore, hopefully for profit, I will be there
Right.
100%.
That's basically where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's
I think it's a
basically where
pretty
I'm at. Who
relatable
knows?
goal.
Maybe the squad we can get together and make an eggnog show with Wes, and he can animate
I'm
it, and we can all write an
waiting.
eggnog show. Maybe. Because why not?
I don't see why not. I need to start
I
writing.
asked Peyton what I should ask you, and Peyton told me to ask you, what happens every time you raise your pick in D&D?
Oh man. I don't know why you asked Peyton for questions.
It's a thing we do here when we've got friends of guests. We ask them for the hard hitting
That's fair. I
questions.
see him in the chat. He's happy. Okay, you want to know what happens when I raise my pick in D&D?
I don't know what it means, but I'd love to hear it.
Well, the short answer is I miss. Plain and simple, and I know that's what they want to hear. Yes, this group, Wes and Peyton and Alex, I see in the chat as well. we all hang out and we all play D&D pretty much every Thursday, except today, obviously. See, there it is. We all play D&D, and so my character, he wields a war pick, which is just like a pickaxe that's been modified to be used as a weapon. And for some reason, the way that D&D, yeah, Peyton says it in the chat right now, he misses 100% of the shots he takes, which is so true. But so okay. So the way that D&D works is it's all die based. You roll a set of die, whatever die it is, a D10, a D6, and depending on what you get, you either hit or you miss. I have had the absolute worst luck with this character, with this campaign, with these games. It doesn't normally happen to me, but yeah, it's just every single time that I've gone to attack somebody or something with my pick, I have missed. There's been maybe 2 occasions where I've hit, and it has trumped everything else that my character has done in our campaign because I don't know. I guess it's hilarious. I don't find it very funny, frankly. It hurts me.
I've got one last fun question for you. So you tweeted something along the lines of like, "Am I going to get canceled for this?" And it was like a Facebook post about, I don't know, Paper the Platypus. What is your most cancelable thing? And would you like to come out publicly and apologize for it in advance here? So in 10 years, when people are digging up your past, like I have done now, what are you getting canceled for in 10 years, Ben Clarkson?
Wow. First of all, I appreciate the opportunity. Not many people get this. Let's say that first. Most of the time you gotta scramble to try and save yourself afterwards.
Here at Weekend at Gabe's, we share, support, and love.
Hey,
I don't know if I said that in the correct order, but
show love, but close enough.
Regardless, it stands. I see. Okay, maybe I'm being optimistic and idealistic in saying this, but I would like to think that as of now, what is this? April 4th, 21st, 2022, there isn't anything I should be canceled for.
Listen,
I don't know. I see this. It is a hard question because I almost want to scroll back through all my stuff and analyze it and be like, well, maybe that could be taken out of context. I know the specific post you're talking about was it was a Facebook memory that I had gotten, and I believe the original post had just said something about like the platypus represents society, man, which shouldn't get anybody canceled. I'm sorry, I'm reading that definitely shouldn't get anybody canceled, but I can see things developing in our society in a way that would be the thing, because maybe platypuses become our overlords somehow, or maybe they are a sacred figure in the zeitgeist. I'm not sure. I will say I just need to respond to Alex Jacksander in the chat saying that my King DDD gameplay should be canceled. That is the most heinous accusation I have ever heard. If you play me in Smash Brothers and I'm playing King DDD, I will cancel you, my friend. But yeah, I don't think there's anything. I wouldn't like to think there's anything. But if there is something that comes up, I apologize. I didn't mean it. I was
if the year-round eggnog idea doesn't pan out, you may need to apologize for that. But I want to see it first. I want to see it first. Ben, thanks so much for joining us here on Weekend at Gabe's. Congratulations on your upcoming graduation. We appreciate the time here. We wish you the best of luck moving forward. We hope to have you back when you are on stage as a member of Second City. I speak it into existence, and it shall happen. So
thank you so much, Gabe. That means a lot to me, and I would love to come back. I love you guys. It's awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordan. Ben Clarkson joining us here on Weekend at Games as part of our Thursday Thummies. I like Ben. I want to hang out with Ben now.
He's fun.
Yeah, you gotta arrange
He's
that.
fun.
I don't play
When
D
he
and D
does
or any of
occasionally
those
show
things.
up to our audio drama club meetings, an hour late, he's fun.
Listen, when you got your game on lock, showing up an hour late is like showing up a few minutes early. Like you don't need all the prep work. You're good. If you stay game ready, you don't have to get ready. So I think that's
Don't
Ben's
tell him that.
approach.
It'll only encourage him. Although we've only got like what 2 weeks left. It's only so
Yeah,
many meetings he can be late to now.
I know, right? Thank you for watching the latest episode of Weekend at Games on YouTube, brought to you by the Ghetto Flower. Make sure to also click on the links in the description for more information to our guests and access to exclusive new music from the Ghetto Flower and so much more. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the show, and also continue to share, support, and show love by clicking on any of the links surrounding my head. Thanks for watching.